Prince Andrew had a collection of several dozen stuffed toys which had to be meticulously placed on his bed by Buckingham Palace staff to avoid abuse, a former royal protection officer has claimed. The Duke of York, 62, is no longer a working member of the firm, having been stripped of his military titles and the use of his HRH title earlier this year by the Queen. But former Royal Protection Officer Paul Page, speaking to Unilad, described his experience at the palace carrying out security for the Duke. Mr. Page claimed on one occasion he entered Prince Andrew's bedroom and saw 72 stuffed teddy bears on the Duke of York's bed. He recalled a laminated card with the image of the bed, complete with the lineup of teddies, which was then shown to him by a colleague during an alarm check for the royal apartments. The card would remain in a cabinet near the bed, according to Mr. Page's colleague, so that the maids could put them back exactly like it's in that picture. He then claimed, if they don't, he shouts and screams. Mr. Page said he had served as a Royal Protection Officer between the years of 1998 and 2004, based at Buckingham Palace. The senior royals within his remit were the late Queen Elizabeth II, her husband, Prince Philip, and the Duke of York. Mr. Page recounted his first impression of Prince Andrew as very obnoxious and an angry individual. As the only one of the Queen's children who resided at Buckingham Palace at the time, Mr. Page described his experiences as purely with the Duke of York, gaining what he claimed to be an insight into Prince Andrew's behaviour towards members of the royal household, and all those who worked to maintain it. Mr. Page claimed the Queen's second youngest son would fly off the handle over small inconveniences, and that he would resort to being verbally abusive. This would involve shouting and swearing, the former protection officer added, and would amount to an overly rude individual. Mr. Page then called the Duke of York the most self-entitled member of the royal family, adding, he stuck out like a sore thumb. But he then claimed that because Prince Andrew was the Queen's favourite, there was a reluctance to take any complaint to members of the royal household. He was definitely favoured by the late monarch over her other children, Mr. Page claimed, and that he was left to get on with whatever he wanted. Unlike his siblings, the Duke of York has had his patronages and affiliations returned to the monarch, and has been largely absent from royal family events. A Buckingham Palace statement in January said the decision had been made with the Queen's approval and agreement.